Forrest.
Let's Moonknight wing it. See, dude, that's a new Malcolm character right there.
They had
Moonknight
one
wing.
though. They had it was like Moonwing.
Oh wait, crap! They already had that.
Yeah, Moonwing.
Well, shoot. That's what I get for not reading the Amalgamverse, I guess. But also for not being into comics at the time it was out.
It was Night.
Better now?
You gonna introduce yourself?
Oh, sorry. No, dude, like, so on my side of things, like, everything just froze for, like, solid,
Oh,
like, 10 or so seconds.
it could be the fact that we went live.
Could be. So introducing myself now?
Yep.
I am Forrest. I'm not gonna give you the last name, but, I am
He
a
won't give
member
you
of the
his social
podcast.
security card number.
No, no.
He'll also give you his
I've
address.
never. That's not true, but I will give you my Amazon wish list. And then you can buy me all the Nightwing and Mr. Miracle things on there.
So you haven't read past Lemire's first one of Moonknight, correct?
Yeah, I've just been too busy with life lately, so I've only gotten to read the first volume.
Okay.
But I've gotten to see like pictures on on discussion groups that I'm in and stuff from later parts in the run, and it looks insane in the best ways.
Oh, volume 2 is completely bonkers. It's
I
crazy.
mean, yeah, it's called Reincarnations. Like I have the 3 volumes of Lemire's run right here. I just haven't had the time to read 2 and 3.
Oh,
But
you
like, yeah, dude,
have them. Okay.
yes, yes, I have them. A I'm bad with time management sometimes.
Just read them like in the car or whatever.
I drive myself everywhere. I can't read while driving. Like, believe me, I tried that with the newest issue of Mr. Miracle the other day. Not
Jesus.
the best move.
Are you trying to like kill yourself? That doesn't
No,
look like a smart idea.
no, I'm not trying to. And but like, dude, if it happens, it happens, I guess.
But yeah, Moonknight's fun. That's what you need to do. You need, instead of just doing like a traditional date night, just do like a book club date night.
Dude, I actually proposed that idea um to her a few weeks ago. I think it was like last week actually. We were just sitting down on the couch and I was like, you know what we should do is just like every either week or every other week or something like that. We both suggest each other a book, whether it be a comic or a novel or whatever, and then we read it and then like we discuss it and just like get to talk about it or whatever, because like most of the stuff that I read I don't have anyone to talk about that with in person. Like I have you and the rest of the guys on our server, and that's pretty much it. So
Okay.
like
Yeah. Like it's
but
all
basically the
online
book
people. You
club
don't have
aspect.
anybody to sit down and have like a physical book club with.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. My big reasoning for that is it's a pain in the ass to schedule hangouts with people, which is why I don't want to go through the time making a physical podcast set.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I can do everything digitally, so but yeah, that sounds like it'd be a good way for you to just be able to catch up on books.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like instead of going out to dinner or going to the park, let's just sit here and read a book.
Dude, listen, I would be so down for that. Like I would literally let her like read all my physical copies of stuff and then I'll just like read them online or something.
What was her reaction to that?
He was totally down for it.
Oh, okay. Because the way you're sounding, it's like I was down for it, but it's not happening.
No, well,
Like, wait,
it's not happening just because we're both busy. But
go make time. Quit your
yeah,
job.
exactly.
Comic books.
Listen, I am tempted to, but that's mainly just so I can work at a comic store. Actually,
Well, that's not quitting your job to read comic books. That's making your job comic books.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I already have music as a job, technically speaking.
Yeah, because you play the saxophone.
Yeah, and I get gigs sometimes.
Whereas the ladies call it the saxophone.
That is
Oh,
not what ladies call it. At least from my experience. Actually, it's mostly guys who call it that.
I'm glad to know I'm not alone in saying that.
Yeah, no, believe me, it's like throughout oh god, how long have I been playing?
Okay, here's my question.
8 years?
Along the scale of instruments, like every instrument, where
Scale.
does saxophone rate among like the sexiest? Where it's like to get people in bed, be like, "Hey, I'm a saxophone player."
Um, you'll
Like,
probably have to play something for them first.
okay, because I
But
have friends who like play the cello, and everybody else is like, That's not appealing to me."
I think cello's pretty cool. But I mean, I would say like if you really think about it, like people who play stand-up bass, which are usually jazz bassists, uh, dude, look at their fingers go, and like anyone is gonna be just all over
You could do
that.
a lot with those fingers.
Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying, man. And then I would say probably piano players because they know how to tickle the keys, and then saxophone players below that.
You just gave me another reason to finally learn how to play piano outside of just Scooby
Exactly.
Doo.
Exactly. You should learn the DuckTales theme.
I want to learn DuckTales theme song, but it's way more complicated than Scooby Doo because Scooby Doo it's the same sort of
It's the
rhythm
same
played at different
chord.
speeds.
Yeah.
It's just a da 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 over and over again. It's just that, and then you play
What
at
you
different
saying? You
speeds.
can't do da 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 da
Last year, check the
da
DuckTales
da.
way more complicated. I want to do a DuckTales theme song because I love that theme song.
Good song. Yeah.
So when I look up DuckTales theme song on Google, it's DuckTales theme song lyrics, piano, 2017, and chords. So I'm assuming a lot of people want to play it on piano.
Yeah, that's where people mostly transcribe stuff to. Like, okay, that probably didn't make any sense. But like, when it comes to like songs and stuff, when people are trying to learn them on an instrument, mostly it's piano players that do the work. They're like, hey, I wanna learn this song, so they write it out, and then most of the time when you hear any other instrumentalist play it, it's just they probably just either because like with piano you can play the chords and the melody at the same time. You can't
Yeah.
do that with almost any other instrument.
We should do
So
a duet at some point, man.
if we ever meet up, we can.
Hell yeah. Also, if I have learned more than just Scooby Doo, because I feel like Scooby Doo would
Yeah.
be. Oh, what would the saxophone cover of Scooby Doo's theme song sound like?
I would just be doing the melody, so like just the lyrics and stuff, minus the actual like spoken stuff. So it'd just be like I would just be playing da 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 like that stuff, you know?
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
we
No, sorry, I can't play a full chord. I can only arpeggiate a chord.
need. I know there's like a really cool saxophone cover to Burn from Hamilton that'd be fun to do.
I have not heard it, but that would be cool.
Have you listened to Hamilton yet? We are
My
so off base
answer
from comic books
no.
at this point. You need to listen to
Oh yeah, we
Hamilton,
are.
man.
If I answer no, how badly are you gonna kill me?
Well, I mean, you could easily change that by the time we meet in person, because we
This
all
is
know what that
true.
will be. It's like a 2 hour musical. You just listen to it on your way to work, man.
Work only takes like 20-30 minutes to get
Then
to
it'll
though.
take like a few days of going back and forth, just listening to Hamilton. And it's
But
swell. It's so good.
is it in podcast form?
You can completely listen to it audio only because, according to Lin-Manuel Miranda, it was designed as a hip hop album before it was a Broadway musical.
Gotcha.
And it's so good. It's really good, and I love it. Because like it takes like history. Admittedly, it's not the most accurate thing because they sort of
Because they
gloss over.
didn't break out into song back then.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's not like they do skip over and sort of mish sort of certain things together, and they do sort of gloss over the fact that Washington had slaves, despite the fact that there are like several lines in the musical about why slavery is bad, and then they just gloss over the fact that a lot of the heroes of that time did have slaves.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, it's really good. Everybody involved, at least of the original cast, haven't been able to listen to the current cast because they don't have their own sort of thing unless I go see them in person. It's really good. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a genius, and I want him to do every musical ever from now on.
Wow, that's a
Not
lot of
every
praise.
musical ever, because Joss Whedon's Dr. Horrible sing-along blog was pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, I love Dr. Horrible. It's been a long time since I've seen it though.
I pulled up my playlist recently, and I'm like, oh, this was like my first musical, and I love it. That's what the school needs to do. I'm friends with with one of the teachers who's involved a lot with the theater shit.
Yeah.
Not doing In the Heights. No, we're gonna go do Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog for the next school presentation. Hell yes.
That was amazing.
I'm wondering if I can convince him to do that, because that'd be pretty damn fun to do.
You would have to have someone that's very charismatic though to play Captain Hammer.
Oh yeah, 100%. Also, I feel like that wouldn't be easy for costumes because everybody's dressed normally except for Dr. Horrible, who just wears a lab coat, and Captain Hammer, who just wears a t-shirt with a hammer on it.
Yeah. Like, you could honestly just make one online on, like, TeePublic or whatever.
The cheapest production they've done yet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, not much has to go into the costume design. But, hey, I thought this was a Moonknight discussion.
Yeah, but then it's like, I haven't listened to Hamilton yet, and you need to listen to Hamilton. You would get so many references.
I would get, dude, I love getting references. Like, that's half of what I made, like, that's half of what my conversations were in middle school. And, like, the first half of high school was just me spouting references.
I should probably check the chat because we are live at some point.
Oh, yes.
I should probably do that.
Check it at some point.
I don't know what it's like right now. Probably empty, but I don't know. Let's find out. The chat's not loading for me, and I don't know why. Oh, it's Brandon Allen.
Brando needs a new camera and a girlfriend.
I mean, we're not wrong here.
I mean, dude, like he's saying, it worked for Bill Clinton. Fair enough, man. Very fair enough.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, do I reference Hamilton a lot in my videos? I think I've dropped several Hamilton references during like podcasts and stuff.
I am positive that you have.
I'll be angry at myself if I didn't, considering with my Moonknight video, to loop it back around, I did the he's a lunatic pun.
Yeah.
If I didn't reference Hamilton at some point around there, I'm going to be upset. Of course, so the only one I could think of was, to keep it on Moonknight, Scott from NerdSync did a Moonknight video, and he referenced the line George Washington says a lot during the musical, where it's dying is easy, young man, living is harder.
True.
To sort of bring in the fact where it's like, oh, Moonknight died, and then he was brought back to life by a weird god thing.
A weird god that just really likes screwing over people's lives.
Who may or may not exist.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because if he does exist, how come he's never referenced anywhere else? Like, where does the Egyptian mythology stand in the Marvel universe?
Probably the same place that, like, Native American mythology exists.
Well, that doesn't help at all, because like we have a very clear understanding of like where Norse and like Greek stuff are, and then we have the cosmology of the Marvel universe.
That's how it always is, man.
Where the fuck does Khonshu and Anubis stand in here?
Who knows?
I'm just saying, I would love a story where it's like Odin meets Khonshu and they're just dicking around.
Honestly, I think Odin would fight Khonshu.
Dude, I think everybody would fight Khonshu. Khonshu's a fucking dick.
Yeah, this is true.
Okay, so, you have not read Bendis's run, correct?
No.
Is there any particular reason why? Is it just still time management skills?
It's mainly time management is part of the reason why I haven't read, like, anything Marvel. Because, like, when I started getting into comics back in late middle school, like I came in with the New 52, so like I was reading a lot of DC stuff, and because of that, I still am. Like over the past 2 years, I have just started getting into Marvel. You know?
Yeah. Bendis' Moon Knight run is interesting. It's still good, but also I just remembered. It's like I was going through them. Like something seems weird. Khonshu isn't like in the book.
That's weird.
Khonshu's not a character. Like he exists as much as because Stephen Grant is like a movie producer. He's producing a TV show about his life, sort of like a biography. And in that they have the whole he's a mercenary who gets killed and is brought back to life by Khonshu and he fights werewolves. And that's as much as we get for Khonshu being referenced is that, and then it's just Moon Knight, the Captain America, Wolverine, and Spider-Man personalities in his head, and then the New Avengers are there.
Yeah.
Because he interacts a lot with the New Avengers.
So I'm skimming through Volume 3 right now. And
I have that, right?
I just got to the part where like the page shifts. Yeah, Life and Death, where the page shifts like start happening, like you have to
down?
Yeah, and then you have to do upside down, and like, dude, that's trippy.
Oh yeah. The only other book I've actually read that had that recently is Scott Snyder's Batman Court of Owls.
Yeah.
Did that to show like Batman's losing his sanity in the labyrinth.
I actually read that digitally, so like I'm pretty sure like the directional shifts don't happen in most digital.
Oh really? I feel like they would happen and be a pain because you have to flip your phone, but since your phone has an accelerometer, it auto flips.
Yeah.
So you just have to set your phone.
Just turn that off. I usually have that off anyways. Just because I don't know, like I feel like having it automatically switch can just be really annoying sometimes.
Yeah. Currently, it is off for me, so like I like keeping it nice and straight most of the time.
Yeah. Like you, nice and straight. I was trying to make a joke.
Good luck with that joke, man.
Yeah.
Fell flat. Fell flatter than my love life. So that was weird. We took a drink at the exact same time. I was like in the process of drinking. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I looked over too, and I'm like, oh man, this is awkward.
Fucking in unison, just like, let's go. We're twins.
Listen, there's nothing wrong. What's so wrong with two bros just taking a sip?
Well, when you put it like that, I feel like there can be something wrong there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about in DMs the 2006 Moon Knight run.
Yes, by Houston and David Finch on art.
It's really good.
Yes, I don't think I got to read the entire thing because Comixology Unlimited didn't have it all. But hi water bottle. See you later. I'm pretty sure I at least got to read the first and second volumes, and I liked it a lot. I felt like it's a good introduction to the character if you haven't read any Moon Knight stuff before.
Yeah.
But
like the depiction of Khonshu is weird because Khonshu reminds me a lot like Deadpool. Visually, because he's the guy without a face. Deadpool's face is fucked up, and also he's just like very comedic. And he's constantly popping up just different costumes and being really weird. And then it's like you get to like Marvel now with like Warren Ellis onward. Khonshu's sort of like this very sort of stoic character. He's a very stoic, just Birdman. He's a manipulator. Like he's there manipulating behind the scenes, and he's very much a priest. Where he's like, "You are my son, and you will do as I say, and I will show you the light." And instead of just being like, "Kill Captain America," because why the fuck not?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that part in Houston's run, when Cap comes to see him, and I'm pretty sure Moon Knight asks him like, "Why are you here? Is it to like get me to join your side of this whole Civil War thing?" And Cap's like, "No, I came here to tell you that neither of us want you, and you need to stay out,"
Oh, I
or
I will
something
say,
like that.
it wasn't along those lines. It was Moon Knight essentially freaks out about Captain America and Tony Stark having a war while there are innocent people dying and like important shit is happening. And then he's like, if you're coming here to recruit me, you can just go, like, you can just leave right now. And Captain America's like, since I'm currently on the run, I don't think I have the opportunity to tell you this. And he says, and I quote, "I don't like your methods, mister." And then he
Oh,
leaves.
yeah. Like literally, he just comes by and he's like, "Hey, I don't like you. I'm out."
I like how he calls him mister.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how you know he's serious. He's an old time kind of guy, and when
I'll
he
say
says "Mister,"
I will say Spectre did make a really good point where he's like, dude, like there are people dying and you and Stark are over here having a dick measuring contest.
yeah. And I mean, even to add on to the fact that like another event that was happening at the same time was Annihilation.
Yeah, in space.
Like, like literally, the universe is falling apart. But hey,
Captain America and Tony Stark can't get a room.
yep.
Captain America just wants to be in the room where it happens, man. More
Civil
Hamilton references.
Ooh, Civil War was a trip.
I like Civil War a lot, but yeah, it does, like when you put it in context of everything that's happening in the like comic book world at that time, it's just like,
Yeah,
was this really that important? Because like people are dying, and here's just all these heroes just having a big dick measuring contest in which
yeah,
people are
pretty
like
much.
cloning Thor and shit. I will say, I did feel it was weird that in that Captain America says the line where it's, Castle might be in a cage, but you need to be in a straitjacket. And then it's like later on in that event, Captain America just lets Punisher join his team.
Yeah, like it. I mean, I did like that scene where Punisher brings in. It was Johnny, wasn't it?
I'm on that
Or
issue
the
right now where,
hey,
according to the cover, I'm on the issue where Punisher shows up.
dude, has Punisher and Moon Knight ever had like a crossover thing outside of like Damnation currently going on?
I don't know.
Because
Moon
I
Knight doesn't
feel,
cross over a lot, which is kind of sad.
which is kind of sad, but at the same time, I think that honestly helps the character because it keeps his stories a lot more focused and centralized. Like he doesn't have to go play with the other people during the events, you know, like during Civil War II, like there was no Moon
Moon
Knight.
Knight was just in an insane asylum in his head dealing with
Yeah,
the might exist God.
exactly. And like I think that like him not being a part of that actually like helps strengthen the character, and it makes the stories that are being told from the creator's side like a lot more focused and more enjoyable. Like I really liked Ultimates at the beginning of all different Marvel, and then it got tossed into Civil War 2 and everything that they had going on with Galactus the
Galactus and shit.
Lightbringer instead of the Devourer of Worlds. Like all that kind of got a little side railed, but
I will
like
say,
Moon Knight didn't, thankfully.
Lemire's Moon Knight run, I don't think we ever get like a clear, definitive answer of, is what he's seeing real or is it in his head? Because we do get Khonshu saying the lines of, "I'm just in your head and this is all you." And then Mark Spector keeps saying like, "None of this is real. I'm just sick. I'm just like crazy." And then Khonshu's just like, "Oh no, you're not." So we have no
Yeah,
idea if New York was actually being invaded by Egyptians or not.
yeah, and
All
I
I know is
like
like at
books.
the end, New York looks the same. It's
Yeah,
the ending happens, and then Moon Knight's like, "It feels real, and that's good enough for us." And he puts on the Mr. Knight costume, and that's the final panel. And I love that final panel.
yeah, it's a whole part of that the philosophical debate. Like I don't remember who said it, but it's a quote that's around the lines of like I I exist, therefore I am, I believe it is.
Yeah, where
Like,
it's you can
believe
only know
exists.
you exist because you
Like,
think for yourself.
yes, if you think that you exist, then obviously you must exist somehow. And I think that that kind of thinking is kind of what goes into Lemire's run of Moon Knight, at least. Like, if Mark Spector feels that this is real, then that's good enough for him, and it's real to him.
Yeah.
I also I like how it's kind of up to a bit of interpretation, though, especially between all the Moon Knight runs. Like, especially with what I've heard is going on right now with Bemis, however you pronounce it, not
Yeah,
Bendis.
the sun god, right?
Yeah, like there's a lot of things between that run and Lemire's run that are up to interpretation. Like, did Lemire's run actually happen and have an effect on things going forward? Is like,
Okay,
does
so
Khonshu
are you
exist?
aware are you
Stuff like
aware of
that.
what happened during Moon Knight's run? Lemire's run, I mean.
I mean, I know that at the end of it, Mark accepts like his different personalities and maybe kills
Yeah.
Khonshu.
That's like the big climax because it's okay, so throughout the ending of throughout volume 2, it's all of Moon Knight's different personalities. Stephen Grant, Jake Lockley, and then like a new weird personality where it's like a weird space knight guy. All essentially are forced to meet up, and then Mark Spector literally goes through the process of killing each and every one of them.
Oh my god.
Like he like well, they sort of just dissolve into sand, but like the new personality is like, I have no idea what the fuck you are, and like it just fades away, and then he like stabs the Moon Knight Jake Lockley personality through the chest. And then like he has like
Good,
a
he deserves.
conversation with Stephen Grant's personality where it's, I'm the only real one, and I get that this isn't pleasant for you, but I have to do this in order to move on.
Yeah.
And then like it ends with like this really touching moment where it's Stephen Grant essentially saying, it's like, before you do this, promise me you're going to try to be happy after all of this. And then they dissolve. And then so it's like, okay, they're dead. And essentially the way that I perceived it was, it is happening in his head, and it's him finally understanding that he's insane.
Yeah.
Like, he's understanding that this isn't okay because throughout the first volume, Khonshu's constantly telling Moon Knight to accept his insanity and just run with it. And then during this, he's like, he keeps saying over and over again, I'm sick and that's what you are, and I need to get better.
Yeah.
So like he goes through that, and then something else happens, and he's like in a weird alternate dimension thing with Anubis, and his alternate personalities show up. They just pop up, and I'm like, huh. And then they just don't stick with him anymore until like the ending of volume 3, where he's fighting, like he's like going after Khonshu, and he's like, I'm sick and I'm finally going to get better. And then Khonshu is essentially like, they're fighting on a rooftop, and then he like grabs Khonshu and says like, I am Mark Spector, I'm Jake Lockley, I'm Stephen Grant, and we are Moon Knight, and then kills Khonshu with quotes. So we have no idea where that stands, because then in the most recent run with issue 1, Khonshu is back, and so are the personalities. And like they're doing a very similar thing to what they did during Bendis's run, where it's during Bendis's run in Moon Knight, all of the personalities are constantly present, except they can sort of flip who's in control.
Yeah, and that's something that they're doing currently.
Yeah, like there's like a moment where like they're fighting a bunch of bad guys, and like this really big guy comes up. He's like, okay, Stephen Grant clearly can't handle this, and like he like flips over to Jake Lockley, who acts completely different.
It's a tag out situation in wrestling.
Yeah, they just tag in each other.
Yeah.
So like it's very interesting. I will say Bendis's run did have one of my favorite moments where Moon Knight raids a strip club dressed as Spider-Man.
Oh.
Because he thinks he's Spider-Man, like he goes as far, like he gets like a Captain America shield and Wolverine claws and web shooters. He just raids a strip club dressed as Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
I will say that there was like a moment where Echo is this character I completely didn't know existed.
Yeah, she's a Bendis creation.
Yeah, she was in Moonknight, which was written by Bendis, so
Yeah.
that made sense.
Wasn't she in his Daredevil too?
Oh yeah, she says like she references was like somehow dating Moon Knight is worse than dating Daredevil.
Mm. And I
Because
think
Moon
she
Knight
showed
gets
up
her
at the
killed.
end. Yeah, and I think she shows up at the end of Spider-Man 2 though.
Weird. Because like she dies during that run.
Yeah.
And there's like this moment where it's because they're fighting some guy, some villain whose name I genuinely can't remember. He's Count something. He's like a Avengers level threat, but Moon Knight is basically like, yeah, no, I fucking got this.
Count Vertigo. No, it's...
I was gonna say that. I was like, I wouldn't believe it. Like he's got like laser eyes and shit, and he has like an Ultron head.
Oh.
He essentially moved to LA to become the kingpin of LA, and then Moon Knight moves to LA, and coincidentally, they're there at the exact same time. So Moon Knight's just like, okay, I gotta go do this.
Yeah.
And then like the Avengers come in, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna like call in like Thor and shit because the new Avengers, and Thor isn't really a member. And then Moon Knight's just like, no, I got this.
I got it.
And then Echo gets killed, and there's like this moment where it's because they're trying to get away from him, and then Echo is like shot through the chest and dies, and then all of the personalities of like Spider-Man, Captain America, and Wolverine are arguing as to whether Moon Knight should jump back in and gut him or not.
Damn.
And like the crazy part is when the Spider-Man and Wolverine when Spider-Man and Captain America personalities say we don't kill, Wolverine's personality kills the other two and just takes over.
Oh my god.
And then Moon Knight gets his ass kicked and is like sent to the hospital. You know what's funny? Because he spends the whole run avoiding bringing in the Avengers full time. He beats them by luring the villain to the police station where he called the Avengers to show up. And the Avengers beat him.
Oh my god.
That's like how he does it. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. He's the entire run trying not to do this.
Yeah. That seems kind of incompetent, to be honest.
I guess, but also like this is a character who can go head to head with Thor. Moon Knight really doesn't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Like they make it very clear that Moon Knight gets his ass kicked pretty much literally every single time he encounters this guy. He gets his ass handed to him. But yeah. Also, like I really do hold that my favorite thing about Warren Ellis's run, which is like right after Bendis's, I think, is the Mr. Knight personality.
I love Mr. Knight. I thought of going as him for Halloween one of these upcoming years.
I feel
that would cost a lot of money to get a full white suit.
Oh yeah, like he's one of the few characters where it's like, if I ever have the urge to cosplay as anything, I'm just gonna go Mr. Knight because I'm the kind of person who would normally wear a suit if I had one. So dressing as Mr. Knight would be essentially me just being casual with a mask on.
Yeah.
Also, it just looks really cool. It's badass as fuck.
It is legitimately one of my favorite designs, like, ever for any character.
It's so simple, but also, like, very recognizable, because it's just, like, a suit with a moon mask.
Yeah, and, like, dude, the way... looking back at Warren Ellis's short-lived run on Moon Knight during the beginning of Marvel Now, like, the way he has him introduced is... I just love it. Like,
I like the idea where it's the police have to capture Moon Knight, but Mr. Knight is a consultant, so he's fine.
Yeah, like I got the page up right here. One police officer like, "Sir, that's..." And then the detective's like, "That's Mr. Knight, concerned citizen. If that man were identified by the name of a dangerous vigilante, then I'd have to follow a very specific set of standing orders to restrain him using whatever force was necessary. So this is a thing we do. To police on the streets, that's Mr. Knight."
I love that idea where it's just Mr. Knight's just like the consultant guy who helps out the NYPD. Moon Knight's the crazy one.
Exactly.
I will say the next volume is much more episodic than Warren Ellis's volume.
Like it links together better.
It
Is that what
it
you mean?
is like it's a very cohesive story.
Okay, because Warren Ellis is just
so there's a whole plot line with the doctor that they introduce in, I think it's the first issue of Ellis's run.
Yeah.
She's a very, very, very important role in the next volume. It's very much a traditional comic where each comic takes place right after the other. Where this one, like, they're all very loosely connected. This next one is like, this event happens, which leads directly to this, which leads directly to the next issue, and so on and so on.
It's following a plot, like it's following, like, let's say, like, this is the case that he's working on. This, like, that would be following his progress through the case.
Well, it's not necessarily like a case either. It's a thing I've wondered for a while because Khonshu, Moonknight is basically just Khonshu's avatar. It's what about the other Moon Knights that had to have existed at some point?
That's something that they bring up in the current run.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, Moonknight and the Sun God have existed throughout history, possibly.
Okay, because why don't we have a Moonknight 2099 book then?
I know.
Where's my future space-faring Moon Knight? Come on.
Please. I would love that. Also, when you were talking earlier about the new personality that shows up in Lemire's run, who's on the moon, he's literally, like, he's a moon knight.
Yeah, he's a Moon Knight. I think it's funny because I keep forgetting that in, like, Moon Knight's first appearance, he was fighting a werewolf.
Yeah, and
so every time
the book itself was called
Werewolf. Every run has to reference werewolves at some point, and I'm just like, I'm constantly going through and I'm like, why the fuck are there so many werewolves in Moon Knight books? Oh yeah,
because that's where he first appeared. It's not like we publish any Werewolf by Night anymore.
Yeah, so he's just fighting a werewolf. So yeah, that makes more sense. Where it's like he's a Moon Knight because all the humans have to go to Earth.
Yeah.
To the moon, I mean.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, we don't get to see any of the Avenger wolves. What the fuck would you call them? The Avenger werewolves?
I don't know. I can't think of a pun off the top of my head. Normally I can.
Yesterday in the Pi Discord, Mac and Troy and I were talking. We were like, what would be a fun writer just to talk to? And one of my top things was like Jeff Lemire about Moon Knight because that run's fucking insane.
I would say Chip Zdarsky just because he seems like any question I would throw at him, he would somehow manage to throw it back at me.
That'd be like the worst interview where it's like, so what were you thinking when you made this? Well, what did you think I was thinking when I made this?
Like he would either be super sarcastic or he would just avoid the question and just put it back to you. Like, well, what do you think I was thinking through this?
I will say, apparently last year at Indie PopCon, my friend texted me recently. Apparently there were Moon Knight cosplayers there, and I didn't see any of them, and I feel disappointed.
Wow, that sucks. You didn't get to see them.
Yeah, like he sent me a photo of him posing with a guy dressed as Moon Knight, and I'm like, I'm sorry, that guy wasn't there when I was there. It was like all Spider-Man and Deadpool. What the fuck?
Yeah.
There's like one Constantine cosplayer, and then it was all like Star Wars characters and stuff like that, which is all very normal. And I'm like, I wanted to meet the Moon Knight guy.
I want to meet the Moon guy.
Yeah, the Moon guy, you see?
Moon guy.
Yeah, so Moon Knight is a fantastic character. And just as we didn't explain who he was, and since he's not really a mainstream character yet, I can almost guarantee within the next few years, they're going to be like, and we're going to do a Moon Knight show or a movie.
Have I told you my pitch for what I want a Moon Knight show to be?
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so it's going to take heavily from Lemire's run in the sense that it's going to focus on the different aspects of the characters. So it's going to be an 8 to 12 episode season. In the first few episodes, So like the first episode is going to focus just on Mark Spector. He goes to Egypt, he dies, whatever. He gets brought back to life. The second episode is going to focus on like Steve Grant or whatever. And at the end of it, like he like I don't know, like puts on like the Moonknight costume or something like that. Then the next episode focuses on Jake Lockley and he does his stuff, and at the end of the episode he puts on the Moonknight costume. And then once like you get all the the personalities established, but like so what I want is for the personalities not to be played by the same actor.
Ooh.
But have Moonknight be played by the guy who plays Mark Spector. So Steve Grant and Jake Lockley are going to look like the guy, but they're not going to be exactly him. So, like, anyone who's not familiar with the character won't suspect that they're actually the same person. And then by the time, like, you have all those characters established, then you have one full episode of just either Moonknight or Mr. Knight. I would probably go with Mr. Knight just because that's probably easier on production costs, because you don't have to make a huge cape or anything or a cowl or
his cape is
whatnot.
fucking huge. How the fuck does that not get caught up in jet engines, man?
Exactly.
No capes for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, like Edna from The Incredibles would be having a field day with him.
It's like, not only do you have a cape, it's like 4 times the size of your body. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, once you get all the different personalities established, then you have one entire episode that's just Moonknight or Mr. Knight, like I said. I would probably go with Mr. Knight just because I like his look better. But you can still call him Moonknight or something, you know?
I will say one thing, the tangent here. I have seen one argument that I do think kind of works with why we haven't necessarily seen Moon Knight in any live action thing like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or any of the Netflix shows is it's much harder to make a pure white costume look cool in a dark and gritty show like you would need to do for Moon Knight.
You would have to work with lighting a lot.
Yeah,
and you would probably have to do, oh man, I don't even know like how you would do that. You would have to either,
I would change up the color scheme on his suit a little bit. Like instead of making it just like a pure white suit, add some black in there. Like maybe like the undershirt is black or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just make like the vest black. That way you can still have, because it's much easier to work with like darker colors when it comes to doing a dark gritty show like Daredevil and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so by around like episode 6 or 7 or whatever, you have all the personalities established. Then you have just an episode with either Moon Knight or Mr. Knight, and then like the final episode or 2 is going to be like the realization that they're all the same person.
That would be cool.
And like that's the final moment of the first season is, oh crap, Mark Spector has DID, and all these characters that we've been following are just aspects of him. And then say would be like, you know, yeah, sorry, you go.
I do like to think of like when I'm thinking of like a character, I'm like, how, like, what would be a really cool visual to have in person? To tie along with that, there was like a thing I did back when I was like really into like the idea of scripting out like fan films, like what Eismahawk does and like Bat in the Sun.
Yeah.
One of them was a Moon Knight thing. I really wanted this scene where it's like all the different personalities of him just like step together and merge into one person, and it's like, oh, really they saw the same person. Like that would be a really cool final moment where it's like, they're all in his head. One thing to along with that is, a lot of people are like, just do Jeff Lemire's Moon Knight for like the Moon Knight show. I'm like, I feel like that'd be a much better second or third season.
Yeah, so like
you need to establish he exists first before questioning whether he exists.
Yes, which is why I only take the basic idea from Lemire for the first season, that just like these characters live entirely separate lives.
Because they typically do. Like Jake Lockley is a cab driver and Stephen Grant is
movie producer, very high-end society guy. And
while they might be vaguely aware that they are all the same person, they do perceive things differently.
Yeah. Like if we get a Moon Knight show, I don't want it to directly adapt or just directly tell the story from one of the runs. I wanted to use
Well,
these concepts and ideas. Like, I would love to see the scene where he talks down Khonshu, like, is all of his different personalities, and at the end of it be like, we are Moon Knight, and, like, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I would love to see that. I would love to see the scene from the beginning of Houston's run where he cuts off the guy's face. Like,
Bushman's face. Hell
yeah,
yeah.
Bushman's face.
I,
Like,
w-
I would
I will
love to see
say
those, but
there's
I don't want
one
direct adaptations. You
there's
know?
one thing that we do need direct adaptation of, and I feel you know what I'm saying here. Issue
Yes.
5 of Warren Ellis's run, which is him in a like apartment building beating the shit out of bad guys.
Yes, but
That
that
wouldn't be a
wouldn't
full
be a full
episode because
episode.
that's
That would
like
be like half the episode.
but
I
I
want
will
an
say,
adap- I want an adaptation of the issue preceding it, though, the one that comes right before it, where he goes into like the apartment complex or whatever, and goes into that like closet where the guy died.
oh yeah,
Like,
he's in the dreamscape.
yes, that would be so cool, but I feel like you wouldn't be able to do that on a Netflix budget.
I will say, like, again, I was like talking to Troy and Mac in voice chat, and they were like, one reason why they don't think we'll ever see like a faithful on-screen adaptation of Moonknight is because of the whole
Nobody.
like, it's a not necessarily that nobody knows who he is because Daredevil wasn't necessarily a really big character, and then like they gave him a show, same thing with like Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Um, Moon Knight deals a lot with religion, where it's like very religious because
I mean,
he's the
so
avatar
does
for an
Daredevil.
Egyptian god.
Yeah.
I'm like, they were like, oh, we're not going to say that because nobody wants to do a show about essentially a superhero priest guy. And then I'm like, but we have Daredevil, and Daredevil's extremely religious.
Yeah, like there are multiple scenes throughout the entirety of Daredevil where he goes into the church, confesses his sins, talks to the father, and be like, "Hey, what if I did this?" And the guy's like,
Like,
"Well,
their argument was like, most of the world at this point is Christian. And I'm like, but we also have Wonder Woman, though,
yeah,"
and Thor.
which are based off of or not ancient, but old religions.
I will say,
Like,
I was going through like Hamilton YouTube videos a while ago. This ties back into Moon Knight. Don't worry, we're not going to go on
I
another
would hope
tangent as
so.
to why Forrest needs to watch Hamilton. This one guy did a really cool, like 20-minute long video about Hamilton and motifs in the music, like notes and shit like that. And I
Yeah,
commented on
yeah.
his video, and then within like 10 minutes later, he commented on my Moon Knight video as to who the hell is Moon Knight, and he was like, we had like a full blown discussion as to why that Ellis run would be a really good Daredevil show. And essentially, the way he pitched it was like one sentence as an elevator pitch where it's Legion meets Daredevil. I'm like, yeah,
Ooh,
that'd be really fucking
oh
good.
my
That's a really
God.
good way to pitch it.
That is a really good way to pitch it.
Just
Because
Legion meets Daredevil. Hell yeah.
dude, Legion is freaking insane.
I only saw that first episode, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch all of this
Dude,
eventually.
I think I'm at like episode 5 or 6 right now, the first season, because again I got busy and then fell behind. But like, dude, that show is doing things that I never would have thought of, but also it's doing things that are just so difficult to perceive and it's so up to interpretation that like now that you've given me that one sentence pitch, like it all works perfectly.
I will say, where a lot of people are like, we're never going to see like a Moon Knight show or a Moon Knight movie. I feel we will because we've had the showrunner for Daredevil say that he would totally love to do Moon Knight at some point in the Netflix universe, whether it be like as a character in Daredevil or as his own show. And then James Gunn has also said that he did make a treatment for a Moon Knight film before he was listed for Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm like, we have two like the biggest guys over at those from both ends of the spectrum for both the movies and the shows saying that they want Moon Knight to exist in this universe. I definitely feel at some point, even if it's not his own show or his own movie, we're going to see Moon Knight.
Yeah, and I think, especially with the MCU, we've established the sci-fi side of things, the magic side of things, and just your regular superhero stuff side of things. But we don't really have a supernatural side of things. And in the Netflix stuff, which is still kind of into the debate on whether or not it's actually part of the MCU. We've dipped into the supernatural a little bit with like the stuff that the Hand does,
with like Iron Fist.
Yeah, and some of Daredevil, but like nothing full blown like
gods and magic and shit.
Yeah.
Like, then it deals with like Anubis and the Dreamscape. I'm assuming it's called the Dreamscape. That's why I assume every world that takes place in a dream is called.
Yeah.
That's just like the default thing for me.
Yeah, and like that's okay, man. Like that's an easy way of clarifying like where something takes place in, you know? Like, oh, it takes place in the Dreamscape.
By the way, that issue was fucked up, where it's like this guy is just dead and he's dreaming and he won't die, and he's just like under the floorboards, just washed away.
Dude, I like how he wakes up, or how Mr. Knight wakes up from that dream, and he just barges down the door, like
he kicks open the door, grabs the guy by his hair, and drags him into the room with the corpse.
And slams him down. And it, like, oh my god.
I get this wasn't your intention, but this is still entirely on you, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you in the fullest extent. And it's weird because, like, so in the volume 3 of that Marvel Now run, which I have somewhere right here, I will say they bring up something that never gets addressed, where it's Moon Knight goes up against he goes up against like a weird boogeyman monster terrorizing a girl, and then they set something up where it's when he beats the monster, as he's leaving the room, the monster says, "Khonshu, why have you forsaken me?" And then it's like Moon Knight has like that dun dun dun, what the fuck? And then like the final issue is him fighting a group of crazy people who worship Khonshu. So it's like they're setting up this idea where it's like Khonshu definitely isn't the goody two shoes that sort of Mark Spector's come to know. Not necessarily goody two shoes, but like the good person.
Yeah.
And then they just never address it again, as far as I know, because then they just jumped right into Lemire's. But maybe none of this happened.
Yeah. And like now that I think about it, that seems to be kind of like a big, like, maybe not a big problem, but a slight problem between runs is that a lot of them don't really continue what happened within the last run, from what it seems. And like a pro of that situation is that it leads the creators to be able to do pretty much whatever they want as long as they have a good story in their heads. But at the same time, we've said there's plot threads and stuff and really good character growth that's happened that may not have technically happened.
Also, like, admittedly, I can't speak for this because I haven't read through. What were we on? We're on Marvel Legacy, right? That's where we're at right now. In this timeline, in this universe, I'm so confused. They do this sort of relaunch every few years, and it's really fucking annoying.
Just say current Marvel.
Yeah, current Marvel. I admittedly only read like the first issue. I don't know if we've seen Mr. Knight at all, because it's just been Moon Knight and his other personalities.
I can't remember, just because I haven't read it either. But I'm on I follow this Moon Knight page on Facebook that posts stuff from every new issue that comes out. I don't think I've seen Mr. Knight in any of those.
Which is sad because I much prefer the Mr. Knight costume to the Moon Knight costume. Definitely. The Moon Knight costume is very much Batman. It's very much like the way I originally described the costume to a friend. It's, what if Batman was a KKK member?
Oh my god. Like also, okay, so like there's a few different Moon Knight costumes though. Like there's the pure white one that like was used originally and is being used again now, and then there's like Warren Ellis's Moon Knight where it's the black and white, which is super cool.
Even the all white one has like subtle differences between like the current one and the one from like 2006.
Yeah, like the
original one had like the was it the conch or whatever the fuck the Egyptian symbol is on his chest. That thing. Like he had an emblem originally. And I'm like, that just
Yeah.
adds more so to the fact that he's just like a KKK Batman member. Admittedly, Moon Knight is not racist.
Yes.
One of his personalities
He
might
just
be
protects
racist. We
everyone.
don't know.
I wouldn't doubt if Jake Lockley was, because he just sounds like the biggest jerk sometimes.
Oh yeah, 100%. But like Moon Knight himself isn't racist. I just say KKK member because that visually is more so what Batman looks
Yes,
like.
and it gives you a strong visual of, like, if you've never seen the character, it gives you a very strong idea,
Batman with a
an
white
immediate
hood.
idea of what the character looks like, and you go, okay, I can see it.
Yeah, he's not racist. He's not a bad guy. He's a superhero who dresses in a white Batman costume
Yeah.
or a tuxedo. I mean,
Tuxedo, which looks super cool.
yeah, it does look cool. I love it. Like it's so good. It's like when Hawkeye switched to just wearing the T-shirt in that
Yeah.
one run that I still have yet to read.
You haven't read Matt Fraction's run?
Okay, so the same guy from who was like Legion meets Daredevil, he was also like the Warren Ellis Moon Knight volume, and then that Matt Fraction run changed my life, and I was like, I haven't read it yet, and I see it everywhere, and I'm aware of what the plot is. I'm like, oh, the plot sounds cool, and
The plot doesn't even really matter. Like, from a comic book making perspective itself, that book uses sequential storytelling and breaks like how we normally read comics in the best of ways.
Oh yeah, like I
there's an
know.
entire issue just from the perspective of a dog.
Yeah, Pizza Dog, right?
I love Pizza Dog. He's a good boy. But like,
I would name my dog Pizza Dog. So.
Oh yeah, dude. I just want pizza now, dog.
I have a half-eaten slice of pizza right here. So
nice. But yeah, no, dude, like legitimately, if you ever get the chance, like read Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, because Jeff Lemire actually took over that book right after him.
I will say, Matt Draper, who does like really good like sort of breakdowns of sort of like what does this mean? Because he did a really good one on that Hawkeye run. That I was like, oh, I might really want to read this now.
Yeah, there's this guy on YouTube. I don't know if you know him, but his channel is Strip Panel Naked.
Yes, it's Haas. He did Comic Con on Nerd Sync a while ago, and he also has his own magazine.
Yes, panel X panel or panel. I say panel by panel.
He also has a Watchmen podcast where they literally break down like a page of Watchmen per episode.
I need to watch that.
I haven't listened to it yet. Like I keep seeing it's like they just do a page of Watchmen per episode, and I'm just like, that sounds really cool.
And you know what? I'm not surprised. Like that guy does in-depth work.
By the way, back when Haas worked for NerdSync, he did a video as to that 5th issue of Warren Ellis's Moon Knight.
Yup, and on Strip Panel Naked, he did a video about it. But he's also done videos on Matt Fraction's Hawkeye, and legitimately, it's those videos that made me want to read that book. Like, just the way that he was praising it and what
also,
he was
his voice is really good. He has like this really good deep narration voice.
It's very nice. Like it's like sometimes I just zone out on his voice, and then I realize the entire video has gone by, and I hear the opening, like, what's up guys, Haas here, and I'm going to be talking about some of the best panels in the pages of comics today, and then I zone out, and then like 10 minutes later I hear, and if you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'm like, oh god, I missed the whole video just because I was hearing his voice.
So I'm going to say YouTube has a lot of really good people for narration, because we have like Markiplier has a really nice voice to listen to when he's narrating things.
Critical.
Yeah. Rob, obviously, Rob is the Morgan Freeman of the comic book YouTube community. I feel we've all agreed on that, right?
I say I like Haas's voice better.
Ooh, I kind of prefer Rob's voice still.
And that's Haas.
Haas is, and then also like I still hold Owen from Owen Likes Comics is a really nice voice.
Yeah.
I really hope he doesn't regularly watch my stuff, which I don't think he does. Because like the only time he's watched my stuff is because when Ricky and I brought him up during a podcast and we're going to make a Owen Likes Pornhub account.
Oh my god.
We didn't do it because I'm a lazy idiot who didn't want to make another email address that says I'm like 35.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I have like 3 email addresses, one for school, one for personal stuff, and then one for the YouTube stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
like, making another one isn't that big of a deal. Like, that was the last time we watched it. He has a really nice voice. I like his accent a lot.
Yeah.
I just wanted to narrate my life.
That'd be cool.
I kind of veered just to be like, hey, Owen, if I paid for you to come to the United States and be my roommate, will you just narrate my life for me?
You literally just follow me around and just say what I'm doing in the third person.
Yes. It'd be so good. It would be so good. But yeah, YouTube has a lot of people where it's like, I feel that like Audible, because Audible taps into YouTube a lot. They need
Mm-hmm.
to get some YouTubers to come in and do some like Audible books. I get like having all the sponsorships and stuff like that, but if it's like, and we have Alice in Wonderland narrated by Rob Jefferson from Comics Explained, or we have
Disney
um
explained.
or we have the Harry Potter book 1 narrated by Mark Fishbach, aka Markiplier. I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm a listen to those because those voices are really nice to listen to. That's what we need, Audible. Stop sponsoring us unless you're gonna sponsor me. I will always take your money, but just start pulling in YouTubers into that Audible sort of, hey,
Yeah.
if we give you a script, can you just read this for us? It'd be so good.
The only problem with that is that, like, especially with content creators like that, especially like Rob and Markiplier, like they're constantly putting out videos, which means they're constantly recording, editing, cutting, like uploading. Like I don't feel like they would have much time to do
I
that.
feel Rob would have more time than like, because Markiplier, I think, Ethan from Current Gameplay stopped editing for Markiplier a few months ago.
Yeah.
I know Rob technically does have a guy who writes scripts, and he does. I think he does have an editor as well. Because like Rob does seem to have like a lot of free time just to watch shows and movies and hang out with Benny and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Which, by the way, if you need somebody to do dramatic voices, no matter what your opinion on Benny as a person is, Benny's really good with voices.
I
I'd
actually
listen
just
to.
had a conversation with one of our bass players at school about that the other day because he used to watch comic story and all that stuff. Like
Yeah,
he likes Rob a lot, and but him and I both agreed that like yeah, we used to watch Benny's stuff a lot, but like I stopped watching just because most of the stuff that he was uploading was stuff that I was already currently reading. So I didn't need an explanation, or I didn't need a dramatic read through of what I just read myself. So I'm like, all right, done watching that stuff. Like I still watch R&B
oh yeah,
sometimes.
like I watch like the podcasts that they do.
Yeah, but I don't watch the regular
I've
shows
sort of dropped
anymore.
off of all of his dramatic readings because I'm keeping up with comic books currently.
Exactly, and like his channel is not suited for that. Rob's channel is a little bit better in my opinion. I haven't watched any of his stuff in months, but like he does current stuff which I don't need, but he also goes back and does old things. Like he did all of Hickman's event or Fantastic Four,
Yeah.
and it's those set of videos that made me want to read the book.
Also, like the way that they do things are completely different because Rob's thing is more like he's telling you a story. Meanwhile, Benny's telling you, here's what you need to know.
Yeah,
Benny is very much
and
like,
then
this is everything that happened. Rob is like, let's just sit down and talk.
yeah. All right, guys. I think like today we're gonna talk about some
Like,
movies.
Rob will like freak out like in the middle of a recording session. Like he'll freak out and just ask questions to the audience and bring up
Yeah,
like, he'll be like, it's like if Goku is doing this thing, and like he'll reference other things. Benny is very much like there'll be some jokes thrown in here and there, but it's very much like a here's the
yeah.
story, here you
Like
go.
there's no
Which
conversation there. It's
his
you're
is better
being
if you just want to know what it is, but if you want to have it be more like a conversation, to be more personal, you should probably go for Rob.
yeah. And like, I mean, I pretty much only watch comic pop stuff now.
Oh yeah, I've watched. I'll occasionally skip like a letters page or two, but
I
I
never
watch
saw it.
most of everything that.
I haven't been watching Elseworlds exchanges just because I get those on my iTunes. so I can listen to those pretty much whenever. So I have no reason to watch them.
I will say, if I rush home on Wednesdays, I can catch Elseworlds Exchange live because they'll do like
I
their.
never get the chance to.
They will do their like pre-show as I'm entering my bus. I'll get the notification when it's like, Comic Pop is live, and then like when I get off the bus, which is like only like right outside my house, which is really nice.
Yeah. Believe me, I know how that is. Having your house right next to the stop.
Oh, it's so good.
Glorious.
It's so good. And then like as I get there, I'll get like the official notification of like him tweeting out the show. It's like, and we're live doing the show. So like I'll like run up to my room and I'll miss like the first minute and a half because I'm like, okay, grab a water bottle, grab Pop-Tart, run.
Run. Yeah, dude.
Sprint up the stairs. And then like I will like have the thing where it's like I'm turning my TV on and I'm casting my phone screen to the TV as I'm entering the room.
Yeah.
Where it's like I get in, I sit down, it's like it's already up. Hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's smart.
I love being able to cast my phone screen to my TV.
It's so nice. Like
it's so good.
I pretty much only use my TV for YouTube. Like 85% of the time that I'm using my TV, it's for YouTube.
See, my TV's just become a big monitor for my little tiny laptop.
Yeah.
It's become like a really nice monitor because I don't have a monitor and I don't really have a PC, so I don't need one.
And
I just have this shitty little Chromebook that I'm just gonna hook up to my TV and then just use that.
Nice.
But yeah.
But yeah, Moonknight.
Moonknight, the tangent episode.
Yeah.
Just like Moonknight's mind, this episode is fractured into many different tangents.
Actually, speaking of Moonknights and podcasts, there is a fully dedicated Moonknight podcast.
I found it. They have like 6 subscribers, and I tried listening to one episode, and no offense to those guys, I don't think I'm ever going to see this, but no offense to those guys, I couldn't finish it. It wasn't like, it was like, I could tell like they were enthusiastic about Moonknight, and they were interested, but they didn't necessarily sound like it.
Yeah.
They sounded very bored.
Was it the Into the Night podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
That I looked up Moonknight podcast on YouTube. Also, the not that it matters because it's a podcast and video quality doesn't really matter unless you're like Benny and sound shit, where you have like a full blown like production studio in your basement. The image is just like a extremely stretched JPEG of Moonknight.
Oof.
I'm like, this looks like somebody like grabbed like a photo of Moonknight, put it on like a thing of rubber, and then just stretched it. By the way, I do feel like the goal at some point is to have like a co-host who can actually come to my house, and then like I will do like what Benny does and have like a multicam setup at some point. Where it's like I will have like, I will say like I completely forgot that you can actually like, obviously I can't do this because I'm a teenager without a job, but like it's possible to rent out office spaces. I completely forgot that was a thing until like Sal will like randomly do like a Instagram or a Periscope where he's just in the office. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing you can do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would love to like at some point within like the next few years have like a somewhat stable job so I can actually do that and have like a full blown like office space specifically just for recording. Because right now my bedroom has just basically just been, it's an office with a bed. That's basically just what it's become.
Yeah.
Like most of it's more so stuff just so I can record it and so it looks nice and not necessarily so I can take a nap.
My room is constantly a mess because I'm never in here because I'm either not at home or not in my room.
Apparently within the next few weeks we're planning on moving out, so I need to clean up my room at some point. So that's...
Good luck with that. I know how moving is.
I'm going to need the luck because I'm going to be moving a mile away from where I currently am. And currently my school is like 2 miles away, so it's pretty easy to walk or jog there.
Yeah. And
now it's like, and you're going to be three miles away. Oh, man. You're going to have to cut through a cemetery to get to your school. Well, that's depressing.
And you're going to stumble over like a skeleton's hand rising out of the ground
For
and
the
all.
first time, I've considered being like, because Boosted Board has their new Boosted Board Mini, which is like $750 compared to like their $1,300 normal Boosted Board.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh hey, that's a pretty good goal to save up to. I can't ride a skateboard for shit, but if I spend $700 on an electric skateboard, I'd probably have the like want to ride at some point.
Yeah.
I really want to get a one wheel though. That looks like fun, but also looks dangerous as fuck.
I'm terrified of those, and I don't have good enough balance for them.
Oh yeah, I have shitty ass balance. I only know what the one wheel is because DK got one.
DK.
Which, by the way, DK, I know you're not listening. I know you're not. But where the fuck are those vlogs at? I get you're busy editing for the Super Carlin Brothers, but it's like 2 videos a week, man. Where are those vlogs at? Where are my DK vlogs?
I'm getting close to my time limit, so if you want to...
yeah, okay. Yeah. Socials. Promote your socials. Promote your Pornhub page.
Don't have one of those, actually.
What?
Believe it or not. I don't have one of those, actually.
Oh, I thought you said you do, and I'm like, wait a minute.
No.
It's just like an account.
Sorry. No, that's not me. Yeah, so...
I'm going to look up Forrest. I'm going to look up your name on Pornhub real quick.
I really hope you don't find anything, because if you do, then that means someone is either impersonating me or someone is making me look bad by sharing the same name as me.
How do you know I'm not going to open this because I really don't want to open up another tab that's just like porn. Because Pornhub likes to open up other tabs if you don't have AdBlock on. Yeah,
apparently. I wouldn't really know, but
sure.
Yeah. Huh?
We've all been single and teenagers at some point. Anyway, what's your Twitter?
I got more important things, man, like practicing and reading.
Saxophones aren't good to get your jizz, okay?
Like, dude, I'm making my career off of that saxophone thing, you know, so...
You gotta be that sexy sax player.
Basically.
You gotta be that sax daddy. Oh! Segue.
Sax daddies. Segue into my Twitter handle, sax_daddy. And I guess I'll do my Instagram too. That's Bats of Gotham, with no spaces, no caps. You'll find a lot of... Well, you won't find a lot because I don't post there much. I mostly post comic stuff now, but every now and again, you'll see a look into my personal life. I should probably delete all the posts that I did in high school when I first had the account, because I'm like a freaking little dingus, and I don't want those getting...
I didn't scroll through your Instagram account. One minute.
Don't. If you're truly my friend, you won't.
Well, you see, I'm truly your friend. I need to have as much blackmail I can.
I know, I understand.
That's why, like, I'm glad I never post on Instagram, because people are like, I'm gonna go stalk your Instagram. I'm like, everything there is horrible, but I also don't use it very much. So
yeah, exactly. No,
you can follow me on Twitter at Brandovader, Instagram at Brandovader. You can like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in more videos, hit the bell icon, and we will see you next time. I really have to take a shit, and I feel it's too much information.